Hello, my name's host Eric. I'm the host of Talking with Famous People, and I want to make a video right now for the INFPs of the world, INFP in general. Uh, I'm going to talk about you as though you're female. Most of the INFPs I've encountered are, almost all of them. If you're a male INFP, I'm not trying to exclude you, but I'm not sure if this applies to you. So, I don't know. I'm not saying all INFPs are chicks. I'm just saying this is for female INFPs. Let's just put it that way. This is a video about female INFPs. I just wrote a comment. I read a comment from a commenter, and I feel this powerful urge to do something, you know? Because the commenter says, I'm female INFP, 32 years old. I recognize myself in that INFP friend you were talking about. I don't want to read the whole thing. The gist of it is she's suffering from insecurities about a relationship. She knows they're illogical, that she's mad at herself about, and probably doesn't quite know how to deal with it. I responded, INFP understands the impacts of sorrow. She's burdened with unshielded empathy. And that was what I wanted to talk about primarily. To be subject to imposed suffering, then, is to make you bear too great a load. INFP already carries the broken heart of the world. It is necessary that she keep her own heart as intact as possible. So I think this comment of mine there, I got something that I hadn't really quite gotten before. That's the core engine of the INFP. It's unshielded empathy. I was talking to Kit Kats last night. This is what I think INFP somehow she doesn't understand it. Like I don't understand certain things about myself at all either. That are because of the ways the functions line up. But when you think about things, INFP thinks about things from one perspective, which is every perspective. And that means she will go through a potential situation when she has to make a decision. The example I gave to Kit Kats in the video last night was about having to make a choice between a punishment that sounded bad and a persistent pattern of bad behavior in a given community. So, how much suffering are you willing to impose to stop suffering, to stop a greater suffering? And why? Well, if you ask those sort of questions to an INFP, they're going to answer by evaluating the situation and sort of thinking about how each party would feel in the situation. And because they have unshielded empathy, they have a very clear sense of the hurt that person is going to experience. They can imagine that. When they think about the situation, they go, but Tom's going to feel like this. And just as I might say, but Tom's going to think this, and articulate it in words, they say, but Tom's going to feel this. They could articulate it in words, but that's not what is being actually thought about, are the words. The words are a translation of what's being actually thought about, and what's being actually thought about is the feeling that INFP has inside of her, which matches the feeling that her thinking logically indicates Tom's going to have based on her understanding of how feelings and actions link. So INFP is not being illogical. They're being logical about their feelings. It's their feelings that are not the problem either. Her feelings are accurate. That is how Tom's going to feel. But the thing is, it makes it almost impossible to make the right decision if we have to make any hard decisions. And INFP, that's not her place in the world to make hard decisions like that involve someone gets fucked and someone wins, you know? They don't like that because they're evaluating not based on comparison to a standard as a TI person would do. They can do that. They're perfectly capable of doing it if it's an abstract exercise. But they default to how will everybody think about it? How will everybody feel about this? And then, like an FE person will factor in, but what will others think of me? How will their perceptions change? And they manage that by saying, I'm going to make him feel good so his perceptions of me change in the following way. That kind of thing, right? FI is different. And it's about empathy, about real empathy, not manipulation, not provoking or evoking the response you want, which is what FE is. It's about genuine empathy. Now, empathy is tied closely to compassion. So INFPs inevitably are among the most compassionate people you're ever going to meet. And that's why it makes me so frustrated and sad to see INFPs struggle a lot. And they do. They struggle a lot because well, I mean, as I said in another video, they need to have a very idyllic childhood to come out well. I tell you who's come out quite well is Kit Kat. She's a very healthy INFP, very healthy INFP, and displays it. And still, when I was, I mean, not still, but this thing is not unhealthy at all for an INFP. When I was talking about this perspective issue, right? and how to evaluate the decision-making process between a verbal shaming protocol and a problem of physical violence. She looked troubled. And the reason is because when you present an abstract problem like that to an INFP, they use their thinking in the way I already described, same way they always do with a problem. And so even though it's abstract, she doesn't know any of those people, she's still anticipating how these punishments are going to make the people in the story feel. And that's what's making it so difficult for her to pull the trigger on which element should be prioritized. Now, I've made the argument that for children, a shaming protocol is a good response because we don't want to exact physical justice. Like, you tripped me and broke my leg, therefore we're going to break your leg on children. So, and we don't generally do that. We don't generally think it's a good idea to do that as a protocol for justice for adults either. Well, you caused this much damage, we're going to damage you in the same way. And not how we do it. We seek other forms of retributive justice, and there's reasons for that. So, obviously, we're going to jail somebody or fine them or whatever, but we're not going to probably chop off their leg. So then the question becomes, well, what are the alternatives to the metaphysical punishment of shaming? And in this particular story, it's allowing the existing pattern of physical abuse to persist, whereas the shaming protocol will reduce that by 50%. What's one to take away from this? Well, from my perspective, one is to take away from it that the shaming protocol is preferable to nothing for sure, that the resistance people have towards shaming is a misunderstanding of the nature of coercion and inclusion on two different planes, physical and metaphysical. That the violation of someone's physical body is the worst of the moral crimes, as a general rule. Obviously, if you have extreme versions of a metaphysical crime is no less bad, but the point is, metaphysical crimes that occur in a free and open society, I mean, they tend to provoke metaphysical consequences in kind, and that's where the shaming comes in. A physical crime against somebody is both. It's both a physical crime and a metaphysical crime. Because it's physical crime because it's saying, because you're being wounded or harmed in some physical way, or your property is being taken or something. It's a metaphysical crime because it's one individual saying to you, you are not human. I don't have to treat you like I treat a human I respect and love. I get treat you like shit because you are shit. So a physical crime is both metaphysical and a physical crime. A metaphysical crime or a metaphysical coercion or harm is only bad contextually. It depends, right? If you're at a baby shower and a bunch of families are together and they're having a wonderful time, and little Johnny, who's Bob and Susie's kid, little Johnny is going over to somebody's newborn baby and smearing poop on its face and laughing, and then smacking the baby in the face until it cries and people turn around and like, what the hell? That kid, should that kid be, Johnny, that kid should be, what the fuck are you doing, little Johnny? And be taken to the woodshed verbally. Now, if little Johnny persists in those kind of violations of others, eventually you have to use coercion, real coercion, physical coercion. But we don't start there ideally, especially not with kids. And so it's a logical reason why you prefer the shaming, even though shaming sounds bad, even though it's going to harm the bullies who've been doing the tripping. You factor in the fact that they're perpetrators. They're the perpetrators of the original crime that's both physical and metaphysical, and there needs to be some sort of response. To the extent that harm's being done by the response, it's being done to those who justly deserve it, rather than to innocents who don't deserve it. So INFP doesn't make that distinction, really. They don't make a distinction between people who deserve harm and people who don't. They think of people as feeling having things. And so they feel that person's pain regardless of what they've done. They don't find satisfaction in retributive justice, as I think probably every other type does, at least to some degree. And ENTP fucking loves it. I love retributive justice. If it's just for you to suffer, I want to see you suffer. It's just that simple. That's what justice is, right? This fucker did all this bad shit. Let's make him pay. That's good in my book, but INFP doesn't live like that. And the real reason is because, as I said in the comment, and will be in the title of this video, INFP, what should I title it? How about carrying the broken heart of the world as possible, INFP, or unshielded empathy. The INFP, unshielded empathy. Bum, bum, bum. Maybe that. Anyway, INFPs, look, I love you guys, and whatever that lady's name was, I forgot it. I don't have it available in front of me. Yeah, you can't. Another person's not going to give you what you want and need. It's never going to happen. It's because to the extent that you want to be so wholly immersed in acceptance and love, it still won't cure you. You have to some of your being needs to celebrate your most intimate other enjoying him or himself, probably, or herself, with others, not you. That's the lesson I would suggest an INFP learn, if she hasn't already learned this, to enjoy thinking about your significant other having fun with people who aren't you, and think, I'm happy for him. Even if you're not, remember, the fun he's having with people not you is not mean he doesn't want to have fun with you. It doesn't mean he likes those people better, or that he doesn't love you. It just, that's part of being a healthy, full human being, is that intimates have fun with each other and they have fun with other people too. And they have fun not with each other specifically. So it's like, if your significant other wants to go with his friends, when you learn to enjoy that in the same way that you can empathize with those who are being harmed, when you can own that empathy, then you'll get past one problem that a lot of INFPs have, which is codependency. So not all of them. Like I said, there are healthy INFPs. Kit Kats is one. And there was this lady from Canada I remember talking to, and she was perfectly healthy as well. This Detroit lady seems, somewhat. Well, she may not be an INFP. She may be an INFJ. I don't know. But regardless, get away, fly. A little gnat thing, whatever you are. INFPs. Well, it's like if you can sort of own the notion of some of the time in the right circumstances when you feel yourself getting fussy, unnecessarily fussy about something, and you're kind of saying to yourself logically, Julie, you know better than this. You know you shouldn't get fussy about this. He is just going out to have dinner with his old friends. There's no reason for me to think that he doesn't love me because he wants to go with them and not with me. This is what I want you to practice saying. Oh my God, who gives a fuck? I'm gonna go on GTM. I'm gonna go type in gtm.talkingwithfamouspeople.com. That'll be way more fun than going out to dinner with him anyway. And I'm super happy for him because he's gonna be having such a good time. I can just sort of feel him being so happy with his friends. That's my advice to INFPs who are bugging their husbands, basically. Okay, so or boyfriends or whatever. So thank you for watching, INFPs, and I like you guys a lot. You are a little fussy, though. I should tell you that. Yeah. Thank you for watching.